People in communities like these are still picking up the pieces following the devastating storms.
December, November, so we had floods. Even the street were so dirty with as you can see, our dustbins, we don't have people to clean our places. We're living in the shacks. It's been a while we're living here.
They haven't helped us with anything since the floods. They can't even give us equipment or plastics to help us clean up the mess.
About 2 years and a half now.
They say despite their losses and hardship, no government officials came to assist them.
Sure, Mama. It is what it is. We have to live with it. And even if there's no way we can go to cry or say, guys, we have a problem here, come help, and all those things.
The severe storms caused extensive damage to infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and electricity substations. 16 people lost their lives, many of whom during a baptism ceremony in the Yokske River. Former Joburg Mayor Mpho Phalatse asked for a local state of disaster to be declared. It's now in the hands of the province, with the classification of the flooding and damage as a provincial disaster.
We needed to ensure that at the time when we submit information, we've touched all the areas. This amount of money that I'm talking about comes from what would have happened in Soweto, what would have happened in Sidibeng, what would have happened in the West Rand, in Tshwane, and in Ekurhuleni, all the incidents that are linked to the floods.
And the estimated cost of repairs is inching up to R500 million.
All the organs of state in the province would be mobilized together to ensure that they make a contribution towards the amount of money that, because when we quantified it in terms of rent and cents, and what the information we have now is that we're going to need 486 million to deal with the disaster.
The National Disaster Management has classified the province as a disaster area.
The classification of a disaster is done in terms of Section 23 of the Disaster Management Act, and that is to confirm or determine the occurrence, whether it falls within the disaster management definition as outlined in the Act. And that is the responsibility of the National Disaster Management Center. Only once an occurrence or event has been classified a disaster by the head of the National Disaster Management Center is the Premier then empowered to declare a provincial disaster.
2 months after the destruction, authorities have been urged to move swiftly to remove the red tape bogging down the processes of releasing much-needed funds.
The Executive Council of Gauteng, led by Premier Panyaza Lesufi, should then receive a report, which report they will receive from ourselves, and we will motivate to the EXCO why we think the province must be declared a disaster area.
And while authorities mull over the report, affected communities will have to wait even longer to get the help they desperately need. Nozintombi Mia, SABC News.